This week on the Late Apex, WRC Generations, new content for RFactor and iRacing, and Sam sits down for a chat with Elvis Rankin, real-life F4 driver and pro sim racer. Hello and welcome to this week's The Late Apex. I'm Tim Cox, he's Sam Fitzpatrick, and well, we've got a lot to get through this week, haven't we, Sam?
We sure do. Shall we get into the main headlines?
Yeah, let's have a bit of a blast through things. Well, first off, rookie Thomas Ronhard took his second win of the season at Monza in the F1 Esports Series, along with two podiums at Mexico City and COTA to close the gap to the championship leader, Lucas Blakely. Jarno Altmaier, meanwhile, he recovered from a poor opening meeting of the week to take back-to-back wins in North America to stay in the contention for his third straight title. It's that time of the year again for Simracing Awards. You can vote now on Traction GG for Autosport Esports Driver of the Year for 2022, and also the VCO Semi nomination phase that is now open for voting as well. Motorsport UK, they've teamed up with Britcar for the first official community esports race, the Butt-Kicker Britcar 24 Hours of Silverstone. The event is the precursor to Motorsport UK's ambitious revival of the 24-hour event following the pandemic. It's going to take place on the 26th to the 27th of November on iRacing, and will feature TCR, the MX-5s and GT3s. Sony have finally confirmed the PlayStation VR 2 release date and pricing. It features 4K high dynamic range visuals along with 120 FPS and eye tracking. Although it costs a steep £530 with very few racing games currently supported, the headset might not be the best value for sim racers. In a surprise announcement, Race Room, they've entering the world of truck racing for the first time. 12.4 litres, 1100 horsepower. The Race Room trucks are joining the roster very soon and will feature elements from real-world truck racing such as water spraying disc brakes along with high and low gear ranges. And that's been your sim racing update. Well, Sam, some really interesting points. I'm most excited about the Race Room trucks coming. I love a good lorry, and especially Euro truck. Now we get to do it on round tracks. Really exciting, that one. But WRC Generations, let's get stuck into that. New title, a bit sad in some ways. Obviously, KT Racing, they've lost that license. It's going across to Codemasters for next year's reiteration. But it looks like they're going out with a bit of a bang, doesn't it, to be fair here?
Yeah, it looks fairly spectacular on our screens behind us, I must say.
Yeah.
So the graphics look really nice. First of their games to have the hybrid cars. You've got to manage your battery as you go through each of the stages. So they've got lots of teams and cars from the various championships as well that they represent, all the way down to the junior WRC, and also 750 kilometers of stages. A few new stages, new kind of Sweden map as well.
Well, it's across 22 countries, isn't it, if I'm correct me wrong?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it will be a nice way for the franchise to finish under the title.
Any old school style content for, you know, those people who love like a bit of Group C eras? Well, I think I've just answered my own question. There's a Subaru flying around behind me.
Yeah, we've got 37 legendary cars included as well. Also a few nice new online features as well. It seems like they have a new rating system. So when you go online, you can be matched against drivers of similar rating. And also they've got a new leagues system as well.
Both consoles, PlayStation and Xbox, PC. And from what I understand, it's £35 for the base game, but only £40 for the full-fat deluxe version. Which for me seems like a complete no-brainer, really. I don't know about you.
Yeah, it certainly seems to be decent value for money, it must be said, especially if you didn't buy last year's game.
Oh, most certainly. Really looking forward to that one. Now, I think it's time to get hyped about Hypercars. Lovely little pun there. We all love a good pun. And, of course, not just RFactor announcing a new hypercar coming to their sim, but also iRacing, and very close together in terms of time, So seeing right now behind us, we're going to get the van wall in RFactor, and then we're going to get the BMW. Of course, that was announced at BMW Sim Live recently, that's going to come across into iRacing.
Yeah, brilliant to see these cars come across. It's pretty much what we expected. But yeah, how kind of each sim gets each different car will be very interesting to see. So yeah, of course, the van will being added to RFactor. That'll be RFactor's first LMDH vehicle, and of course the same for the BMW into iRacing as well. In iRacing, we believe it's going to be placed in the ESS Championship and the IMSA Championship as well. Of course, very relevant for those couple of championships, and of course it'll be making its real life debut next year at Daytona 24 Hours. I think for the iRacing one, should be released sometime, hopefully early December for the new build.
Yeah, it's not far off at all, and for me it's interesting as well because the van wall is non-hybrid, but the BMW does have hybrid, so I think the van wall is probably going to be that little bit easier to drive in terms of you not having to manage that hybrid deployment compared to what you will in the BMW. But the BMW might that be that bit more exciting. I don't know. I think I'm going to have to try both of them to spend even more money on content and cars. And talking of new content and RFactor 2, 2 new tracks, Sam.
Yes, we've got a couple more BTCC circuits, which have, of course, already been added a fair few in recent months. And it's going to be Croft and Thruxton, which are the new circuits added. They've nearly got the full roster now. I think we were looking at it, and it was Alton Park still yet to come, and Knock Hill still yet to come as well. Let's face it, they are going to come eventually because this is all the content from Motorsports Games BTCC game, which hasn't been able to come out, added to RFactor, so you'd expect those circuits to be added anytime soon.
Well, most certainly, and it's a great way to get into that content with the BTC base game being reportedly delayed until 2024 as far back now. Well, let's take a little bit of a break now. We'll be back on the other side where Sam sits down for a chat with real-life F4 driver and pro sim racer Sir Elvis Rankin, and we took a look at the week ahead here on Apex Racing TV.
So Elvis, welcome to the Sim Centre. You're over from the States to test some Formula 4 cars. How has that gone?
Yeah, it went really well. I was super happy with how it went. We had 2 days at Snetterton. I think in the first day we had some gearbox problems, we had some rain. We were able to manage it pretty well. We ended okay on the first day, but we came out swinging a lot harder on the second day. We ended third in both sessions in the morning and the afternoon. So overall, it was pretty good from my side. The team was happy, I was happy, so it was overall a good test.
And you've been racing, of course, in the States as well this year in the Skip Barber Championship. How has that been going?
It's been going really well. Obviously, iRacing gives me the opportunity with their scholarship to go race over there. We're leading the championship by 14 points with 1 run left. So you get to go to the Circuit of the Americas, finish out the championship. We've had a good season so far, I'd say. I think we've had 6 wins, probably 10 or 12 podiums. So overall, it's been a really, really good year, and we're looking to finish strong.
What's your kind of aims then for the real life series? Is there like a goal that you have? Is there like a ladder that you're trying to progress? And what's your goals as well for online racing?
With the real world racing, like going over to Europe just this year kind of to try and start the march on the ladder to go to Formula 1 would be the ideal. Just to try and pave that way for like Americans and stuff like that. And then in the sim racing, like I've always had a dream to hold the world championship as well. Both sides, you know, so if the opportunity comes up to where I can do that, then I'm obviously going to take it. But for me at the moment with sim racing, it's just kind of being put on the back burner because the real life stuff, you know, it's just getting fired back up, and I've been off for a couple of years, so.
And of course, you're sort of this like generation of, you know, younger sim racers who are now, you know, at the top of the game. Do you think it's like a potential that we could see, you know, 13, 14, 15-year-olds dominate sim racing in the future, or do you think that adult element of it will still sort of have an advantage as it does currently?
If you get the right kid, then there's no telling what a ton of talent and a ton of experience, if they start signing these kids when they're 10, then for sure by 13, I think that they could at least be in for a shout for something. But I definitely do feel like that the ideal age for like a sim racer is probably 18, 19. They need that little bit of wisdom. They need that little bit of, I guess you could say, like experience that comes with it.
And how have you found the Apex Racing Sim Center as well? I mean, what do you think of the facility, sir?
I love it. It's honestly amazing. Like, just getting to, for one, like meet with all the guys that I've been talking with online for the past year. So like, it's super cool. And then we have obviously all the rigs and all the environment and stuff with like the studio and all the offices and the flats. Everything is just super cool to me.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully you enjoy your visit over this side of the pond, Elvis, and yeah, hopefully we see you back very soon as well.
Hopefully.
Well, Sam, really interesting what he's having to say and how he's making the transition, well, back and forth and using the real-life racing and the sim racing world to complement one another and just push himself even further along.
Yeah, it's awesome to see these real-life drivers so enthusiastic about the sim racing world. He's not doing quite as much sim racing as I think he'd like to, because he absolutely loves it himself. But absolute best of luck for him. I mean, it's a big step for him from North America to be pursuing British F4 as he is. It's a big commitment from him and his family. And yeah, we just wish him the best of luck here on Apex Racing TV.
Oh, we most certainly do. One to watch out for, especially after his performances in the Skip Barber series for certain. But let's take a look at the week ahead here on Apex Racing TV. Now, if you're new to the channel, we tend to broadcast iRacing events almost every day of the week. Busy week. Full calendar, as always, Sam. What's your pick of the bunch for this week?
I think we are going to see a really good race in the Formula 3.5 Championship, the official series that we broadcast on a Saturday night. The round this week is Long Beach, which is so much fun in single-seaters. I remember doing the IndyCar series earlier on in the year, and it was an absolutely fun week. I feel like are you not so convinced, Tim?
No, I'm not, Sam. It's treacherous. It's fraught with danger. It's great as a viewer. Absolutely love commentating on it, but driving it, it's
brilliant.
Well, yeah, if you come out the other side with a car in one piece after the whole race distance, for me it feels like a massive achievement. And well, need a good lie down afterwards. And talking of good lies down, that's all we've got time for this week. We'll see you in a week's time. From myself, Tim Cox, and Sam Fitzpatrick from Apex Racing TV. It's been the Late Apex.